Hello, everybody. My name is Adam, and I'm attempting to be the most prolific reviewer of all time. On the weekend, my son and I we watched the animated classic, The Iron Giant from 1999, which stars Eli Marienthal as the main character, Hogarth Hughes, Vin Diesel as the titular Iron Giant, and Jennifer Aniston as Annie Hughes, Hogarth's mom, and Harry Connick Jr. as Dean McCoppin, who is sort of like a beat artist sort of guy. The plot of The Iron Giant, I don't know if I need to go over it because I think it's one of those things that it's a classic now. People watch it, they debate it. I actually never saw The Iron Giant when it came out because it came out in 1999, which was the year I finished university. So, one, I didn't have a lot of money to go to the movies, being a broke university student. But also, I think at that time, you're not really interested in kids' media, even though it does have a lot of artistic merit, which we'll talk about. So anyway, let's talk about the plot then. So the plot is basically this um, alien robot crashes into the planet and he eats metal. That's his source of nourishment. And he is eating an electric station and he doesn't know what that is. And he's being like electrocuted. And Hogarth, the boy, he shuts the power off and saves him. And because he shuts the power off and saves him, the robot feels like, I guess, gratitude towards the boy. And the boy and the robot start to bond and have like a relationship. And it's not exactly clear, but it seems like that accident kind of wiped out the robot's memory. And the the boy is teaching the robot like basic simple words. And I have to say, Vin Diesel plays the voice of the robot, and he this is one of his best performances of all time. It's really, really good. It's really, really expressive. And it does take a great actor to be able to deliver lines in an effective way when you can't see the person's face and when there are so few lines. So Vin Diesel in this regard was is a great actor for that character. Um, yeah, so the the movie is all of this kind of like um, menace to it because there's a scene in the beginning where the robot crashes to the earth and there's like a boat on the ocean and the waves. I don't know how they did it. I think it was probably generated animation or something, but the waves just look so good, like so realistic. Anyway, the boat is in trouble and the boat is like radioing for assistance and the boat thinks that the person on the boat, not the boat. The captain of the boat sees some lights and he thinks that it's the lighthouse, but then he sees like there's two lights and the boat crashes into the robot. And then you don't quite know what happens to the guy, but probably nothing good, right? Because when the robot leaves this guy in the middle of the ocean, probably to die. So it starts in like a really dark tone, and then there's all of these points of menace, which is so. Uh, there are two parts of the menace. One, the boy doesn't want the robot to be discovered because the government is after the robot and he thinks that the government agent is going to hurt the robot, which is true. And the other thing is that they don't quite know what the purpose of this robot is. And there's a scene where they're playing like aliens or something, and the boy has this toy gun, and the robot reacts defensively to anything it considers a weapon, sorry. And the gun is like a weapon, even though it's a toy. So he tries to like destroy the toy and the boy, but not consciously. It was just a reaction. And then after that, you get this idea that, you're not a gun, you can choose what to be. And there's like, yeah, that's a really profound moment in the film. And there's another one where the boy and the robot are looking at this deer, and the robot puts its finger, and the deer sniffs his finger, and then a few moments later, they hear a gunshot, and they go, and the deer is dead, and the robot is kind of processing the idea of being dead. And later, him and the boy are talking about it, and the boy says something like, you know, it's not like everything dies. And it's actually a really great scene, actually, because he says everything dies, but it's not your fault that you die, right? Which is because usually how you would express that is, it's not your fault the deer died. They did it. But it's like not your fault that you die. So I think that's kind of like an important message for kids because, like especially if kids are sick or something with some kind of disease, they might feel guilty about it and they don't have to be in, you know, you kind of feel guilty like with your life, like if you haven't accomplished everything that you want to. So really profound uh, thing there, profound message. So yeah, eventually there is this point where the evil government agent orders a nuclear attack on the robot, and then the general is like, because he takes the telephone, and he's like, "You idiot! We are here too. We're standing next to the robot, so this nuclear missile is gonna land on this small town in Maine and destroy everybody." But the robot sacrifices himself, and he says basically, and the great thing about the character of this Iron Giant is he has the intellectual capacity of a 2 or a 3-year old, right? But that doesn't mean that be he can't sacrifice himself. So he or itself. So it sacrifices itself to save these people because the boy says, "Yeah, we're all gonna die because of this missile. If this missile lands here, we're all gonna die." And the guy's like, the robot's like, "Oh, I don't want you to die like the deer died." So the robot goes up and saves them. And so it's all about how you're not defined by your circumstances. You're not defined by your heritage. Um, and you can make choices, like you don't have to be a gun. And I think that's the lesson. And I think like maybe that's why it's resonated so much in American culture for since 1999 when it came out, because it's not necessarily an anti-gun message, but it's clear it's clearly saying that you don't need to use the weapons. uh, you can find other ways to resolve the conflict, and sometimes you still need to self-sacrifice. Yeah. So yeah, very very good film. I think the one really small drawback would be that the faces are animated kind of weird. Um, but I also think that that's good. If you've seen my review of Lilo and Stitch, the original Disney one, I mean, they're both Disney, but the original animated one, not the live action one. If you've seen that review, you'll remember that I said in that review that the faces are ugly, but it's great because they look like real people. And in this one, they don't necessarily look like real people, but they're also not like this, like really bug-eyed, really big kind of Disney Pixar kind of thing that they do nowadays, which I don't like. So the faces are ugly, but that is literally the only bad thing that I can say about the movie. It has good pacing, the character development is really good, and the voice acting is really good. Yeah, every actor does a great job, although Vin Diesel, as I mentioned, is much better than the other two or three. Uh, yeah, the other three actors. One thing that really is interesting for me is like, where did the robot come from? Because he seems to have gotten lost from some kind of like space fleet. Um, and when he lands, it's clear like his technology is far, far, far beyond that of humans. Like he even, I mean, spoiler alert, but he even kind of survives the nuclear explosion in space. So he, it's a much higher technology. So there are theories that, he's part of an invasion force that was sent to Earth to invade, but then why don't they arrive? You know? So it's maybe like they are going somewhere else and Earth is in the way and he just gets lost and lands on Earth. But, it hasn't, I don't think that anybody has really explained that. I'm not sure if there's a sequel or not. That's what my son asked. I don't really want to see a sequel because I think this movie is perfect the way it is. So I really like the movie. I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10, actually. What do you think? Did you like the film? Yes, no, maybe. put a little uh put a little check mark. Like put your comment like yes, no, maybe and then a little check mark. So thank you for listening to this review. If you like what I do, if you like this review, please subscribe. I'm aiming for 150 subscribers by the end of January. We reached the Christmas goal already, so now we have a new goal. That's how life works. You achieve the goal, you get happy, and then you go on to the next goal. And if you want to join the Patreon, please do so. Check out the link in the description for that. It's a bit much to describe every time, but basically, I think it's a fun take on a Patreon, and the money, if any, if we make any money on it, I would like 50% of it to go to charity. So anyway, thank you for your time, and bye-bye.